comes to dental work and finding a dentist that'll actually do what they say they'll do, it's just hard. And that is one of the things that, you know, I keep asking people that I'll interview on this, how do you find the right dentist? And I don't, you know, the only way I did it, I mean, I had failed implant work too. I went to Costa Rica because, like you, I'm like, oh my God, this is so expensive. And I had plenty of money at the time, and I just didn't want to give it to the dentist that much. I'm going, wait a second, I know. So I go to Costa Rica. It fails after 6 months. I found a prosthodontist in the DFW area that really was gracious, and really he was an oral surgeon too, a surgical prosthodontist, which if you can find a surgical prosthodontist that can do it pretty much beginning to end, I've seen a pretty higher outcome in success that way. But how do you know how to find them? Because I got a list this long of dentists I would not recommend, and ones that I would recommend about that long.
Yeah.
I
went through a process through my work, right? I have dental insurance through my work. They didn't cover my implants, but at least it gave me access to dental referrals. And they will do referrals for prosthodontists too. And so I went through that process, but just because, you know, they're on 1-800-DENTIST doesn't mean they know what they're doing. And trying to find realistic testimonials is really hard to do. What dentist in his right mind is going to have 18 reviews on his website and 6 of them are negative? Why would they do that? That doesn't help their business. That doesn't help their business.
Yeah, they would just put 12, not 18.
So, and now no one is perfect. I'm sorry, that's just the way the world is. God did not make us perfect.
Yeah.
Well, we are. We're perfect in His image, and He is the only one who is perfect.
That's right.
Even His Son was not perfect in His human form. It's a long Bible study, but let's not go there right now.
Okay.
We're not perfect. We're human. We err. We all make mistakes.
Right.
And a dentist is the same way. And yet, when you're dealing with something like that, just like dealing with eyes, you don't want to go to a laser surgeon who doesn't know what the heck he's doing. How do you find a laser surgeon that knows what he's doing? And really, you do it by how long has he been in business? How many procedures has he done? I didn't ask those questions going in the first time. And
so that would be, I don't mean to cut you off, but that would be a good thing for people to ask when they're in a consultation. How many of these have you done? How long have you been doing it? How long have you been in business for yourself?
Right.
And tell me about your cases that have failed, because that's something that I always try to encourage people to ask, because if you don't, like you said, no one's perfect. If they say, no, I don't have any that failed, get out of that chair and run. Because they're lying.
They're lying,
but
absolutely.
Then if they talk about their effort, because I've dealt with so many clinicians around this country now, and like I said, good, bad, but the good ones on their failed cases, I mean, I've seen some, I've talked to some, they don't give up. That's the thing. They don't just blow you off. They see it as, okay, I partnered with you on this because I know how important this is to your life, to your health, to your well-being, to your freedom. We talk about how important your smile is, right? And then are they willing to go with you the distance, knowing that you're not made of money, and if you kind of have something where it worked out and it takes them a little extra time or money, are they willing to invest with you? And sometimes they make it up because some cases are easier than others. I've seen it. I know this. Is sometimes their margin is easier on easy cases. Are they willing to, on the tough cases, sacrifice a little and go, look, we started this together. They still make dang good money. And the hard part is those that, I don't mean to get on a rant, but yeah, those that are willing to, how did they handle those failed cases? I mean, and you'll tell a lot about a doctor, because when you ask them that, I mean, it catches them off guard, and then that way you get to see the candidate.
It's really no different though. I'm a computer technician. Through my career, whenever I go out on an interview, one of the questions I always gets asked, What was your biggest mistake? What was your biggest failure? And how did you recover from that? That tells the prospective employer my integrity as a person. One, am I willing to admit it? Two, what kind of an attack plan did I have for mitigating the errors and correcting it? And a dentist has got to be the same way.
That is where you can get blood to boil in me when it comes to dentists, because where they just go, let's just spend more money and we'll fix what I messed up.
Right.
Or fix what should have lasted 10 years, it lasted a year. Why? I mean, I know I brush my teeth. I know I get after that. If there's something unique, I come in for my cleanings, I know. And so it gets frustrating. And you know, that's part of, I've come up with some ideas throughout this deal that I would love to find a group of experts that almost sit on a panel that patients could pay $150, something like that, to have someone that they know is not gonna do their case. You know, they're not trying to sell you anything, they're just reviewing it from an expert deal. They see the CT file, they see your smile, the pictures that were taken, and they look at it, and then they look at the treatment plan that the doctor gave, and they either say, yeah, or this might be another alternative, but of course you're gonna have to sign waivers and not hold them liable. But I'm
in
just
the
trying to
military,
find,
they call it after action report.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I happen to be working a government contract right now, and because I'm working for a government agency, I file a lot of after action reports. If something goes wrong, you got to tell them what went wrong,
Yeah.
what was the correction, and how do we mitigate that it won't happen again in the future.
yeah.
And when you watch the doctor shows on TV, you see the same thing. After an extremely difficult surgery case or something, they always have a group of doctors that get together and they talk about what went well, what didn't go well, and how could we do things maybe a little better, especially if there was a loss of life. And unfortunately, those things do happen. But surgeons have those kind of protocols in place that they follow. I don't see that in this new industry that is dental implants.
Yeah.
Let's go back and review, and what went well, what didn't go well, and you know, how can I make it better in the future? How can I not have that happen to another patient?
I've found a few clinicians out there that will do that, but again, they're the exception to the rule.